Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Callie.
And I'm Lori.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 14, Episode number 13, The Caviar Catastrophe. That was very appropriate.
It took a left.
Yeah. We start out and we watch Dorit playing basketball with Jager. Garcelle's talking to her executive producer, and Erika's on the phone with her mom while she's getting furniture delivered. So I guess her mom is coming for next week's episode, so we'll get to see that. Tilley shows up at Caviar Kaspia, because that's where she's having her caviar and caftan party. And it turns out that she was there for the very first time in London after Fashion Week, because that's where they've originated, Caviar Kaspia.
In London?
In London, yes.
And then they came to LA?
Don't they have one in Paris also?
Wait a second. Is it London or is it Paris? Hold on one second.
Yeah, I think it's Paris.
I think you might be right. Yes, it is Paris. I misspoke. It is Paris.
So they had that one first and then they opened in LA?
Yes.
Got it.
And she doesn't really know. Jennifer admits she doesn't really know much about caviar, so she just orders the most expensive one on the menu. And
I'm
that's
going to say fish eggs, that's a good bet. Order the most expensive. It's probably the most fresh.
Let's just do this. Do you like caviar, Kelly?
I've never had caviar in my life.
Really?
Swear to God.
Wendy, do you like caviar?
ditto.
Have you ever
Never
had
had it. Never had
I've had it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't
now,
like
Bill
the,
loves it, right?
it. Bill loves it.
I don't
Okay.
like the
Consistency.
Texture?
the texture of it. It like tapioca. It's like, it freaked me out. And it's salt. Like I don't. And I've had very good caviar. I still don't. I just don't.
I
like it.
wonder if I would like it on potato chips because I love potato chips.
Yeah. Or on a baked potato, maybe, because that
Right.
seems to be the thing, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just never I don't like anchovies. If I order a Greek salad, I order it without, the fish. I don't like a very anchovy Caesar salad,
Mm-hmm.
but I love sushi. I don't want the fresh. I like the fresh.
Right.
I don't know
Well,
if I'd like it.
I was glad to learn, though, that the little orange ball ones are the least expensive. So I do know that if I ever try it, I will not be trying those.
You will not be trying this. Yes.
Which,
okay.
I mean,
So now
honest-
we know.
Yeah, because they don't look appetizing to begin with, right?
None of it looks appetizing to begin
It
with.
does not look appetizing. It does not look appetizing.
No.
So-
No.
Then Sutton meets up with her, Caviar Caspian. And I guess Jennifer had just gotten back from the Dolce & Gabbana fashion show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she bought Sutton a little gift there, which was nice.
Yeah. She's a good gift giver.
She really is.
Yeah.
She really is. And they're sitting down chatting a little bit. And Sutton announces that she wants to find herself a billionaire. She has her own money, which she does. But she wants someone who's going to spoil her. And listen, I don't blame her. I mean,
I don't blame her.
we all should find ourselves a billionaire.
Or at least somebody who can spoil you.
Yes.
I don't think they necessarily have to be a billionaire, but somebody who wants to do nice things for you.
Yeah.
Well, as Jennifer Tilley nicely pointed out to her, I don't think her husband did that bad of a job when they were happily married
Right. No.
of
he
spoiling
definitely-
her. So it's not
Exactly.
like something that she's never encountered before.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. She's not trying to make up for the lack of. She
No.
just wants to continue that kind of. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Once you get used to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then Sutton is filling Jennifer in on what happened at Dorit's 4th of July party because she wasn't there. And then she lets her know that she has not seen her since that either. So her first time seeing her is going to be at Jennifer's party, which usually doesn't go well.
Nope.
No. But they plan it that way.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely do. Then we see Kyle's at her house and her therapist/life coach shows up. That's nice.
I
Yeah.
want one of those.
Yeah. That'd
Yeah.
be nice.
I mean, I have a therapist,
Yes,
But-
but I like the therapist/life coach
You're
that
right.
comes to your house. I mean, that's
Yeah.
probably on call and the whole thing.
Yeah, that's good service.
I think it's very clear what's going on with Kyle and Mo now. Something happened. Something triggered the separation. And he thought that she was just going to get over it because she probably has in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't. And he didn't fight for her and didn't say, no, I'm not leaving. we're going to work through this. We're going to do whatever we have to do. And he left.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, I wonder how much of Kyle's marriage is that she is in love or loves Mauricio still, and how much of it is so wrapped up in her identity. Like she said that she's been married for, all this time, and she sees that as her biggest accomplishment. So it becomes this weird kind of thing, like.
No, I agree with you, because if he's been a habitual cheater, which at this point, I'm starting to think he has been, you can't still love him the way you loved him when you first got married if he's done this multiple times.
Right.
I'm sure you still love him and you could even still be in love with him, but your feelings of him have changed, because somebody can't continue to hurt you like that and you keep feeling the same way about them. There's hurt there.
Right.
So you have to acknowledge that hurt.
It's funny because I really don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. I don't see it's that he was a habitual cheater. I think that she was used to having him around when she needed him. And it goes back to when her friend died by suicide. He wasn't there for her emotionally, physically and emotionally. And I think that she's just so used to having him there for her, because what she's talking about with the therapist is this is the first summer that she's going to spend not as a family. Portia's in high school, so that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's a big change in her life. And she did say she expected that, that they would be separated and that he would go, sow his oats and, do what he wanted to do and then, come back. But now she feels like that's not going to happen. And her therapist asked, like, what makes you feel worse, that, that he didn't care enough about you? And she says, yeah. Not so much
he didn't
that
fight with her, fight for her.
Right. Not so much. Like, I don't really think it was about the cheating. I think it was about the emotional support that she didn't get from him. I think that, because honestly, like, we've seen pictures of Mo out before, but we've never gotten the name of anybody. Like, that stuff would be all over the place.
No, I think they paid people off. I'm telling you, that scene early seasons at one of their white parties where she ripped some woman off of him and was like, don't try to dance with my husband. I was like, whoa, you don't have that kind of behavior. If some woman tried to start dancing with Eric, if we were out or at a party, I would laugh, but I don't
think it was funny.
I would think it was funny.
Yeah, I think it was funny.
But if I had a husband who had a wandering eye, I would not think it was funny.
You would not think it was funny.
Her reaction leads me to believe that there were some indiscretions. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm sure what you're saying is true as well, though.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
Like, I think both can be true.
That both can be true. Because even like the therapist said, they never got around to the messy conversations. I think that they just existed on this, let's keep it good, plain for so long that, I don't know.
And we all do that in our marriage to a certain degree,
Absolutely.
Yes. Plus the money's flowing over there. So what do they have to worry about?
Yeah.
Right. And you think just because there's money that makes everything okay. But as we can see, that's not always the case.
No, that's not always the case.
But it helps to avoid certain conversations. And
yes, it helps.
You can do whatever you want for your kids. Like, your kids are never going to want for anything. So that's one thing off the table you're going to argue about.
Right.
There's really not money arguments.
Right. Which most couples, that's
do have, because that's how it is. Yeah. I just thought it was interesting how I just feel like from her comments that, for her, being married was a big deal and a big accomplishment for her. And I think that she has to kind of work at separating her actual relationship with Mauricio to her marriage to Mauricio, because they can be two things and the same thing at the same time and be like weirdly tied to it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Or am I making no sense?
No, I get that. And I also think that, and not that I don't think she's comparing herself to Kathy, but being that Kathy and Rick have been married for so long, and it really does seem like they are solid.
Right.
She's going to aspire to do that. And for all this time, she was doing that. So it's like grieving a loss of someone.
Yeah, who's still there.
Right. Who's still there.
Said. Right, as she said.
Right. I mean, she also said that Mo is an emotional person, but yet she doesn't see him being emotional right now. So she feels like he's just ignoring it. And I think that is true. I think he is just ignoring it, because I felt like when we saw them at the shooting range, he was a little bit more vulnerable. Like when it was just the two of them, like we saw a scene where you could see that, you know, I felt like that was the first time I'd really see him feeling it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, she got very emotional. So if he didn't, I mean, that would have been pretty cold.
Yeah.
To see her react the way she reacted and to not get emotional over that. That's your wife.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Next, we see Bose is arranging flowers in her house, and the doorbell rings, and it is her doctor, Dr. Cindy, and her fertility team comes to the house. So she said she's used to having all of her services done at home, her nails, her hair. So you might as well have your doctors come to the house too.
I love that she said that. She's like, my waxer even comes to my house. I love it. Why wouldn't I have my fertility doctor? I'm like, a little bit of a difference, but I see your point, Bose.
Yeah. So she starts explaining a little bit of the history to the doctor. She's 48 and what she's trying to accomplish. And Keely's not there yet, but he arrives a little bit into the appointment. She wants to know if she has any eggs, if this is something that she can achieve at this age, or if it's something that she should just say, you know, I can't do this. So the doctor gets out the ultrasound machine and she starts checking. And she said, usually by the age of 45, you have a less than 2% chance of having a spontaneous pregnancy.
Less than 2%.
Yeah. Yeah, which is nothing, really.
Nothing.
But she does say that she has 4 eggs, and for her age, that's good. So that's a good sign.
I wonder if they're going to wind up doing a surrogate. I feel like that's probably the smartest thing, right?
I think that would be the smartest thing.
Just given the fact that what she goes on to say about her history of pregnancies.
Yeah, and we learned that her daughter was preterm also, which I didn't know until she said it.
Yeah. And she lost one prior to that.
Right, but I didn't know that her living daughter was preterm also until she said it this show.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know if she should put that stress on her body and risk, God forbid.
Right. So I guess she's in the exploring stages and finding out what's possible for her.
Yeah. Or adopting.
Yeah, but I think he wants his own. Yeah. I mean,
adopting's always good.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sometimes men aren't as much into that as women.
Sometimes men have an issue with that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Keely does. I'm just saying in general.
In general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then we see the ladies are all getting ready for the Caviar Kaspia party. And Sutton in her confessional is shading Dorit by calling her poor Reet and getting the cheap caviar. Now, that was not necessary, but what I did think it was funny.
It's not a good look for her, though. It's really not. Because
Dorit.
Let's break it down. What did you do to earn that money?
Well,
Sutton.
That's it.
Big fat nothing.
Yeah. All right, you held down the house. You raised your children.
You married well.
We're all doing that.
Yeah.
We're not all getting a $300,000 check every month.
Yeah.
Some people may argue with that, but I stand by it.
No, listen, I agree. I just think it's interesting that we've never heard Sutton talk about money like this before.
No.
And I don't know why. I mean, and she says that, I guess she probably said her confessional. She probably did her confessional after the wallet thing. It's just interesting that all of a sudden in the same episode, we're getting all these money references.
Yeah, so money references.
Yeah.
And listen, I get it. And I can go low if somebody comes at me and says I can go low. And I get that she's coming off of last season where Dorit really did insinuate she had a drinking problem. She did.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's just, it's not landing. It doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't.
For some reason, it's just, and I can go low. It's just not landing.
And then on the way to the party, Bose and Dorit are talking, and then Bose is suggesting that maybe she should talk to Sutton and find out about her trip to Georgia and, just get talking to her about something other than the alcohol issue, right? And I think that was good, solid advice. But as you see, when she gets there, she doesn't really follow that advice.
She does not heed that advice.
Did you see when Jennifer almost face planted now this episode? Last time it was Garcelle.
Where? I missed it.
Like,
where did she?
Walking into the
Caviar, Kaspia?
Caspia, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think she tripped over her caftan.
She did.
Yeah. That's the problem with those caftans.
I
They're
love
very
caftan,
trippy.
though.
They're very trippy, though.
Yeah, I think we need to have a caftan something, lunch something.
I love a caftan. Just like
I wish I had. My father's mother, we called her Mama Lois, my father's mother, and my father's parents traveled all over the world. And that's where she wore. She wore caftans, and she had them from all over the world. And we have no idea where they went.
That's sad.
Yep.
Dang, I would have sported them.
Oh, you would have loved them. Yep.
So then we see the ladies start arriving. Erika arrives, and I thought hers was a beautiful pink caftan.
I loved hers. I have that written down. Hers was my favorite.
Mine too.
Erika's caftan was beautiful.
Erika looks great because I think she was on Ozempic, which is fine. And I think it went a little too far at some point. But now I think she must be like maintaining it or something. She looks great.
Backed off it a little, yeah.
Yeah. So
I think she looks great too. I think if we do have a caftan party, we're going to have to find a petite one for me because otherwise I will be tripping over it.
You'll definitely be tripping.
And it will just
have to go see Mona and get that thing hemmed.
It will just look ridiculous.
Well, listen, who does all the sewing?
You do
around here.
You do.
That's true. You just go across the street and see Lori.
Okay.
Never mind, Mona.
Yeah, never mind, Mom.
We won't be needing your services.
So Garcelle and Jennifer are in blue, and then Kathy shows up with Faye Resnick, and Kathy's wearing the lemon caftan.
Don't even get me started on Faye Resnick. I have so much to say.
Faye is wearing blue also. Okay, so let's hear what you have to say about Faye Resnick.
Why is she there?
Well, she's a friend of theirs.
I'm so tired. Stop trying to make Faye Resnick happen. You've been trying since season 1. Faye Resnick is not happening. Nobody likes her. She is so uninteresting, and whatever she says, whatever moment the producers choose to give her is
I love it.
Is nothing.
It's
a nothing moment.
You are having a Faye Resnick hate party right now.
I can't stand the woman.
And I was the one who said pre-podcast that I was cranky today.
I know.
Exactly. Well, maybe if we knew Faye Resnick would trigger her.
Yeah.
Certain things. I can't stand her, and they keep trying to make her happen. It's not happening.
I think they're trying to make her happen. She is a friend. She's a friend.
No, they're trying to make her happen.
She's friends with Kyle. She's friends with Kathy. They've been friends for years. They're friends. There was a lot of...
She made a comment about that she drinks as much as Sutton. Like, it doesn't land. It's not...
Nothing she said was going to land for you.
No, it wasn't.
No.
I can't. Faye Resnick. Somebody put it on a social media post. Like, stop trying to make Faye happen. It's not happening. I'm like, I could not agree with you more.
There you go.
I've been trying
Tilley
not to
found
comment.
a friend.
I did. I found a friend.
Really? Woof. So Dorit shows up in not a caftan.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
She said she didn't read the invite right, but it did say caviar and caftans. And in her confessional, she admitted that she didn't really like them. So
she wasn't wearing a caftan.
She wasn't.
She was well aware of what
wearing
was
a
going
caftan. I mean, does Chanel not make caftans?
She shouldn't have went then. Because come on, that's the theme. If I have a theme something, don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Don't. If I invite you to something,
but if I get invited to a theme something, I'm gonna do it, or I'm not gonna go.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if I have a theme thing, you better follow it or don't come.
Or come.
Don't mess up my themed shit.
Right.
So there you go. There's my cranky.
On that.
All right, you guys are both very passionate,
very aggressive today.
He's like, get me off this fucking podcast already.
Very aggressive today.
What is with you two? So Jennifer had place cards where everyone was to sit, and thank goodness. And I also noted that she had a lot of her friends there too. So there's many other women there that were not Beverly Hills housewives. But Faye was sitting at the opposite end of the table of Jennifer, and she did feel the need to yell down the table that it was fabulous that she was nominated for an Academy Award. And a very long time ago in 1995, which I thought that was a little odd.
Exactly.
Wait, didn't she do it? Didn't she bring that up, though, amongst the rubble? Like, did she bring that up to?
No.
That was the other nonsensical thing she said.
Yeah,
She brought that up amongst the rubble.
And then Erika jumped in and said, "Oh, or was she the? Because her sister was also nominated." And they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know you had a sister." And if her and her sister were the only sisters nominated, or if it was also Olivia and Joan Fontaine, and we find out that they have also. I have no idea who Olivia or Joan Fontaine is. Do you?
I'm gonna look it up though.
I don't even care. I really don't care.
Wait. You know who I wanted to look up and I never got a chance to? Jennifer Tilley was saying when she was first talking about
Cher?
No, the invitation and come to the party. She was saying channel something Getty.
Something Getty.
Lisa Getty. That's what she said. I wanted to look her up.
Okay. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
I did catch the Cher thing though.
Yeah. So then Jennifer says that they were the only two Chinese American people that have been nominated.
No, she was part Chinese.
Now
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I really
amazing.
had no idea. She said she's half Chinese. Her dad was Chinese, and I thought, oh, maybe she's related to Kathy Hilton.
For sure. There's got to be some bloodline there.
Okay, so wait a second. So what she's talking about is Talitha Dina Getty. She was a Dutch actress, socialite, and model who was regarded as a style icon of the 1960s. And
did she wear caftans?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
She was closely associated with the Moroccan city of Marrakesh. So,
okay.
Well,
that explains
the
it.
caftan Mecca.
Yes, that's who Jennifer Tilley said everyone was supposed to channel, who they were supposed to have in mind.
So had
when
Dorit
they came up
done
with
her, paid attention,
absolutely.
She would have known.
Yes, absolutely. Then Sutton asked for an ice cube in French. Did you pick that up?
Yeah.
And then she says, I don't know who I'm going to be today. And then she looks over at Bose and asks her how many people are in her today. And Bose is like, what are you talking about?
Fuck you talking about? But you know why Sutton said that? Because Dorit said it to her earlier.
Never know what Sutton I'm going to get.
Right. And Boz said, girl, one, myself.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
That was in her confession. It was so funny.
So then Sutton starts in with, I'm going to say something. I came to your house for a 4th of July party. I came in very calm. I came in peace. I waited. And as soon as Kyle got there, you came down and then you took my handbag.
Did you see how the producers did the echo of hello, hello?
So this is what I'm thinking. Because remember last week, I was like, you walk in, nobody's there, go outside.
Right.
I guarantee you. Now, after she said what she said about you didn't come down until Kyle got there, I bet you the producers told Sutton, go in and wait. And Sutton probably thought they were going to send Dorit down, and they didn't.
Right.
And they probably didn't send her down until Kyle got there.
Right.
So I had a different I had a different perspective on it after she said you didn't come down until Kyle got there. Because the producers knew something was there. The producers knew something was sitting and waiting.
Yeah.
And Dorit looked so uncomfortable, like when everyone came in and she stood up, when everyone got to the restaurant and Dorit stood up and she was like smoothing her skirt down and she just looked really uncomfortable. It was just
because she realized she wasn't in the caftan and everyone else was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
or
she probably
maybe she was
knew what was going to go down at
the
or
maybe
table.
She was thinking, I thought I was going to be clever and not wear one, but now I just look like a dick.
Well, yeah.
It could be that.
Yeah, that could be it. And Dorit says that was a little humor, taking the handbag. And Sutton said, was it humor? I came with politeness. I brought you champagne. I cut flowers from my garden. I held on for 30 minutes in your lobby. She called it
the lobby.
And then we sit down and I get the watermelon drink and you say, your friend is asking if there's vodka in it when I watched you put vodka in your Coca-Cola. Oh, okay. Touche. Mm-hmm. I didn't see that. And then she brings up how last year you insinuated I had a drinking problem. And then Dorit said, well, am I the only one that insinuated that? She said, no, Kyle did too, but she has apologized to me. And, we've moved on. You haven't even acknowledged it. And Dorit said, whoa, I didn't apologize. And Sutton says, I wasn't going to let you perpetuate the myth, which is what you wanted and needed to do. Like you wanted to perpetuate the myth that I was, an alcoholic or I had a drinking problem.
So when Dorit said, I didn't apologize, they flash back to the reunion, which I can't believe that was the last reunion where her little squiggy
her little
hair.
squiggy. curl.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was last reunion, but they flash back and she does not apologize.
No, she does not.
clearly-
No.
So if that's what she's thinking was her apology, she didn't apologize.
No,
Right.
she didn't. She didn't. And then that's when she said to pick on somebody else whose wallet fits. And all of a sudden,
listen, I'd rather be poor. I'd rather be poor because I think that's really sad that Sutton thinks that her worth is in her wallet. I know she just said it to like dig at Dorit and everything, but sometimes things that you say, I mean, reflect back on you,
Not the other person.
not the other
And
person.
definitely.
That is
So-
100% the case with this. Dorit looks like a fucking hero now because Sutton said that.
Yes.
That was even her buddy Garcelle was like, whoa.
Exactly. And Kyle was like, I can't defend that.
Yeah.
I can't defend that.
Right. She put her hand on her head. She's like, and Erika said, do you think you're bigger than her? She said, I think my wallet is.
Who gives a fuck?
Listen, I love it. That's what I love about Erika. Like she'll
Erika's-
just,
Yeah.
she's the only one who ever steps in on stuff like that. Because Kyle could
No
have
matter
stepped
whose
in.
side.
Kyle could have stepped in on that.
Yeah.
She could have.
We said it because somebody said Erika's afraid of Kyle. And we said it. She's definitely not afraid of Kyle.
She's
I think
definitely
she's
not.
strategic where she knows if she stays on Kyle's good side, it's good for her for the show. But she'll call her out on her shit. She'll call anybody out on their shit.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that she is afraid of Kyle.
But Sutton was, see, this is what happens. So you fuck yourself because her reactions are not fitting the goings on. Like
Sutton's?
the way she was looking at Dorit, like Sutton looked fucking deranged. Like the hatred and the hate laser beams that were coming out of her eyeballs was quite frightening. And I was like, girl, you need to like take a Xanax. Like, I don't know what you need to do.
Well, think about the comment she just made. My wallet's bigger than hers. When you get to a point where you have that much money, this is why everybody's scared of Kathy Hilton. This is why nobody will cross Kathy Hilton because she has all this power. Sutton must think in her head that in this group of women, because of her wallet, she has this superiority. She doesn't, because I was thinking about it at the end of this episode. More people are going to be on Dorit's side. I mean, even Jennifer Tilley on Watch What Happens Live afterwards was like, well, she kind of felt bad, but then she doubled down on the after show.
Yeah.
So
Well, I did Google, and this is how it goes money-wise. Jennifer, Kathy, Kyle, then Sutton.
So Jennifer Tilley has more money than Kathy. Well, she's got Simpson
yes.
money.
She's got more money.
She's got Simpson money.
Yeah.
God bless her,
Right.
man. And
Yeah.
listen, out of all of them, I mean, I would hang out with many of them. I would hang out with Jennifer the first because she just seems like a good time.
Oh,
So
yeah,
with all that
definitely.
money, she doesn't seem like an asshole.
Now, I don't know if you guys saw this. You know that person, Drunk
does-
Drawn, who
yeah.
does all the pictures of the housewives? He
Yeah.
did
That's great.
one of Sutton, and there's dollar bills where her teeth are supposed to be, and a $100 bill where her tongue is supposed to be, and around her mouth is a zipper. It's great.
That's
that is
funny.
so good.
Yeah, that's funny.
When I saw that.
So then what happens next? So then she says, let me make this very clear, Missy. Now Sutton says to Dorit, let me make this very clear, Missy. Now that can be a Southern thing, or
No,
it
that
can
was
be
very
a
condescending.
condescending
That was
Very.
Southern
condescending.
thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely condescending. I'm not saying it's not condescending, but there's nobody in New Jersey or New York is going to call someone Missy to
Missy.
be
No.
condescending.
Definitely
if you
Southern
call
thing.
somebody Missy in New Jersey, you're probably going to get popped.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Fucking
mean,
call me Missy.
Yeah.
bitch
No,
would be better.
yeah.
Bitch would be better.
Bitch would be
Bitch
most
would
definitely
be
better.
better.
Most definitely better.
Yeah.
This is so funny. This is why. Listen, I was born in South Carolina. I'd rather be called Missy. Don't call me bitch.
No.
Call me Missy. Don't call me bitch. All right. So she was very rude to me. She made it very clear that she didn't want me there. Dorit says, it's okay for you to leave early, but it wasn't for Kyle. Which I'm glad she said that.
Yeah.
Sutton said I wasn't sitting on the side of the road with my bathrobe on. Which,
Who cares though?
which was
Like,
kind of funny.
it was definitely funny, but it doesn't matter.
Right. No, it doesn't matter. She's like, I walked out because the hostess didn't want me there. Dorit said, I did call you a bitch. Sutton says, no, I should have called you a fucking bitch. I was like, oh, like it's just getting worse and worse.
It's getting
and
worse.
Every word that comes out of their mouths, both of them, back and forth with each other. But it was definitely Sutton was the aggressor. She definitely came in hot.
Yeah.
She came in hot. Then they say, does anyone have a mirror because she needs, Dorit said that.
Like
Sutton
I
needs
said.
a mirror. Yep. Jennifer in her confessional says, I do not want these girls to get in a Caviar food fight, which I don't blame her because that shit's expensive.
$1,000 a potato.
Is that what it was?
$1,000 a potato.
Yeah.
That's what they were eating. Baked potatoes with caviar that cost $1,000 each.
Okay.
You know what I could eat with $1,000? I could eat for like 4 weeks.
I was just going to say, that's like a month. I mean, shy of a month, but
yeah,
close to a month.
Yeah.
3 weeks for sure.
For sure.
So then Garcelle says, well, what about you just say, I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke and we're done. I'm thinking, that's not going to work. And Dorit says, do you think that will work? And Dorit says, she says it. And Sutton says, well, that wasn't sincere. Okay. Well, I didn't think that was going to work. Dorit says, absolutely. If I offended you or I upset you in that moment, you said that upset me and it offended me, then please don't do that. Sutton said, I did do that. Dorit said, no, you called me a bitch and you decided to walk out. And then Kyle's the one who finally says, like, what do we need to do? Like, what do you each need from each other to move on? Because we can't just keep going back and forth, like slinging insults and calling each other
because
bitch.
It's like, it's the same thing over and over again. Like it's boring, quite honestly.
It is boring. It is. So Sutton says she has nothing to give me. And then Dorit says, and you, Kyle, of all people, are sitting here watching. Well, no, she actually was trying to help. Just now.
She definitely was.
Yeah.
I mean, she's friends with both of them. So one can't be annoyed at her for anything. She's just trying to be a good friend and a mediator.
Right. And Kyle said, no, I'm trying to help. Kyle says, is there anything either one of you can do? Dorit says, I think I need space. And, Sutton's like, fine, I need space too. And then she tries to get her to come sit near her or like rearrange the table. They're like, no, there's another spot down there. They separate a little bit and she's sitting down with Dorit. And then that's when Faye jumps in with her comment about, I think I drink as much as you to Sutton.
Yeah, and we all have our little buttons, she says.
Right. We all have our little buttons. But nobody wants to be judged or put in a box. And meanwhile, Dorit is talking to Kyle and she's saying, listen, if I go as low as her, I can, I'll eviscerate her. And Dorit says, listen, I also need a break. Like, I can't keep doing this either.
No, like she's got a lot going on, Dorit. She's separated from her husband. Clearly she's having financial issues, which she's not saying on the show, but clearly that's what's going on. And she has babies. They are so little.
They're very young. Yes. I mean, she's involved with playing basketball with Jager. The other one's doing ballet and doing acting. Like, she's got a full plate. She's got a full plate.
Yeah, those kids are little still. She's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I don't agree with what she did at her barbecue when she said what she said to Garcelle. Like, you're asking her. I don't agree with that. But I think that they have to like say to each other, like, Sutton has to say, like, enough with the alcohol comments. And then Dorit has to say, like, stop calling me poor. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we could wash this pretty quickly.
Easily,
well, Kyle does admit that she has a totally different perspective with Sutton after going to Georgia, after finding out that her father had depression and he was self-medicating with alcohol. Well, so, of course, alcohol is going to be a trigger for Sutton.
Right, but I thought it was very telling how in Kyle's confessional, the production cuts in and, leaves with Sutton saying her dad would self-medicate with alcohol. And Kyle says, well, that's why alcohol comments bother her. But maybe, I'm not insinuating, but maybe it's cutting a little close to the truth for Sutton. Maybe Sutton uses some alcohol to self-medicate herself because she's had all these issues with losing her dad and her relationship with her ex-husband and her non-relationship with her mother and blah, blah, blah. I just thought that was very telling on production's part. And that's kind of like, that's almost the takeaway I took from it.
And it doesn't mean that she's an alcoholic.
No,
it may
that's
just
not what I'm
mean she has
saying.
an unhealthy relationship with alcohol.
With alcohol, right. That she is doing a lot of self-medicating also.
Right. But when Dorit says, so Dorit and Kyle go out on their own, and when Dorit says something about Sutton adjusting her meds, listen, I don't like that being said about anyone, because I think that that puts a stigma on mental health, but certainly not on somebody who lost their father to suicide, who suffered from mental health.
Right.
To say that somebody needs to regulate their meds, like,
right. It's
come
not a good,
on.
no, it's not a good look.
I walked away from this episode feeling like they're both assholes. Like, they both
Mhm.
said really shitty things about and to each other.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I
'Cause
totally agree.
It was fucked up.
It was.
Yeah, and it's like they're in the, Dorit's around all these alcohol issues too. Like,
Yeah.
Dorit with her husband,
Yeah.
Dorit with Sutton's problem, maybe
Yeah.
not a problem,
Right, right. And then, it kind of ends. Kyle just says to Dorit, you guys should talk, but they don't really, and not at this point. And then the next thing we see is the Daily Mail article comes out with the picture of Mo in the airport in Greece. Everyone's on the phone with each other talking about it. Erika is the only one we see that calls Kyle directly.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly think that that is the real friendship, because I don't know if you've noticed, like on the after show, when there's two people together, Kyle's been by herself, but I think that's because Erika's was in New York doing Chicago. But it's
Right.
usually Erika and Kyle
with her.
together. It's usually,
I don't watch the after show, so I'm not familiar.
It's usually, so that's what I think that's, like she's really her friend in the group at this point, right?
I think that Erika is a straight shooter, and if she's your friend, she's your friend,
Right.
on camera or off camera.
Right.
So, she definitely seems closest with Kyle out of everyone, but she also does seem close with Dorit.
Yeah. So she asks Kyle, like, did you know that this was coming? And she's like, no, like she had no idea. And Sutton is telling Garcelle that this is not accidental, that there's paparazzi there. She's been in that exact airport in Greece. It's a small little airport. It's not like they're just there.
With Jennifer Aniston, she's been there.
And
Sutton said.
When
There was no paparazzi.
So
Right.
I wrote down, damn, Sutton is going the Kelly route
Yeah.
What do you mean?
with the whole
paparazzi,
and
someone's paying them. And then Garcelle said, no one's going to pay.
This is like not necessarily, how we were saying maybe it's kind of a little bit made up. You know how you had always speculated about that.
I did. I definitely did.
did.
After this season, I do feel that's less likely. However, I did think what Sutton was saying was interesting. I think if anyone called the paparazzi,
It was the model.
it was the model.
Now
It was the model.
her name is Nikita Khan, and she broke up with him because he wouldn't commit. And then after that, he's with his current girlfriend.
So he does have a girlfriend, Mauricio?
Yeah, Claudia Kay is her name. Yep. And not only that, which I think is a little douchey, is he's been seen with her in Colorado. Which, I mean, that's kind of like they have a house there.
Yeah. They filmed there.
Like that.
It's in LA too. And I mean,
I don't know, but like Colorado, it just seems like
a family thing,
like
almost.
their kind of family place. So like if you're gonna like dick around, like don't dick around there.
Don't shit where you eat.
Yeah, it just felt really wrong. I was just like, that's just wrong. I just thought it was wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about all this. I do think that if anybody called the paparazzi, though, it was the model. And what was it, Jennifer Tilley on Watch What Happens Live? She's like, why? What's the point of dating Mauricio if you're not going to put it out to the public?
right.
Like, that was pretty funny. She's like, other than that, what's the lore?
Right.
I mean, he was very good looking years ago, but he's aging. Let's face it. He's not aging great. He's really not aging great.
He's not too shabby, though.
He's not too shabby, but he's not what he was. I mean, he used to win every Watch What Happens Live poll, like who is the sexiest house husband, and I don't think he's been winning them lately. Joe Gorga takes that away a lot, too.
I don't think they've had that many lately polls, though, on the house husbands.
But Mo used to get it.
Sutton is saying that Mo planted these photos to get back at Kyle. I absolutely do not think that would happen.
She's saying because she was putting the pictures out of her and Morgan.
But she wasn't putting them out. Like they were
She
just
was.
out.
Was she?
She was putting them out.
I know.
Yeah, she was.
I don't think she was.
She was
I
definitely
think she
putting
was-
them out. But now I'm starting to think
I don't
she
agree.
was putting them out to get a reaction out of him so that maybe he'd come home.
Yeah, that was always my thought on that. That was always my
But
thought
he
on it.
didn't.
No.
So she, pumped the brakes on putting that out.
Right.
But I thought those pictures came out before they were even separated. Those pictures were coming out way before they were even separated.
No.
Yes, the whole
I don't
season.
think they were.
Because they didn't actually get separated until this season. They were still living together. Last season, those pictures came out before last season even started. It was like the start of this conversation.
So we didn't know they were separated until this season, but I think it was before that they were separated.
Well, she said in the start of the season that he just moved out.
Yeah, but I think that they were separated before he moved out.
Right, before he moved out. Yes,
Right.
I think I
Yes,
read
but that's
that
what I'm
also.
saying. That was all last season. That was a whole year ago that they were separated with him still living there. I don't know. Whatever. Next on, unless you have any, Watch What Happens Live was Jennifer Tilley and Crystal Kung Minkoff. Did either of you watch that?
Yes, I watched that. And I did watch the after show. No, on the after show.
Yeah, I watched the after show too.
Yeah, she said it was last week would have been their 29th wedding anniversary.
Yes.
What else?
So, we know people who are divorced, and a lot of times, they don't miss the person, but they miss their family unit. So this might be what Kyle is struggling with.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it really her relationship with Mo, or is it how she
Just her
feels about
family being
marriage in
together.
general and her family being together? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So Jennifer Tilley on the after show also says that, like you said, she thinks that the girl called the paparazzi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe that.
That's what we got for the after show.
Andy did a couple polls on Watch What Happens Live. Whose side are you on, Dorit or Sutton? 43% were on Dorit's side and 56% were on Sutton's side.
Wow, Sutton won that? I don't remember seeing that.
I was surprised. Yeah.
That's shocking.
I was surprised. And then the next one was who do you think has the biggest wallet? And Jennifer Tilley got that with 55%. And the next one was, do you think Mauricio planned for the paparazzi shoot? Yes or no? 54% said yes. 46% said no.
Oh.
How much do you love a caftan on a scale of 1 to 10? Got a 6.
I mean, they're not very flattering, but super comfortable, I would imagine.
Awesomely comfortable.
Yeah. Were Crystal's leather pants actually ugly?
I remember this.
63% said no, and 36% said yes.
That was funny. That was really funny.
And he asked Jennifer, who's more high maintenance on a girls' trip? Jennifer said, I'm going to have to say Sutton because I have my stuff all over the floor. I'm easygoing, and she has her emotions all over the place.
She did say that. And she has Avi there.
I was going to say,
organizing her
she's
closet.
got Avi there. Exactly. Why doesn't Jennifer bring a person? Because she doesn't care. She doesn't care. Shit's all over the place.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't care. My shit's all over the place. She has 2 houses because her shit's all over the place.
Exactly.
Right.
A house for her and a house for her doll.
A house for a doll. So
anything else?
Yeah. On the after show, Kyle said that this whole thing with the photo coming out is just a reminder that they really need to move forward. So I really feel she's really starting to talk like she's getting there to the whole divorce thing. Let's see. When Kyle said that was one of Sutton's worst moments when she said that to Dorit.
I agree.
I agree too. I mean, it's a horrible thing to say.
Terrible.
And she was going off on the after show, Sutton, saying that how Dorit is one of the phoniest people she's ever met.
Yeah.
She says she has no respect.
Yeah. That you're, in foreclosure and you're not paying your bills.
Yeah. But I love how Jennifer Tilley was like, oh no, if my house was in foreclosure and I had no money, I'd be showing up in the Louis Vuittons and my Chanel bag and maybe my fake Birkin if I had to, because that's what you do.
Yep.
That was great.
Yeah.
So
that's why I like Jennifer Tilley, is that she's real. She's totally real. And you said she has the most money, and
has the most money.
You would never know that.
You would never know it.
Right?
If
and
she didn't say, I have Simpson money, I'd be like, All right, how much are those Chucky movies paying her?
Right.
And how much is she winning at poker? But now knowing she has Simpson money,
Yeah.
like, it makes total sense. But she doesn't come off like that.
She's
No.
not one giving statements out like Sutton did.
No, and she's not. So, and listen, I will admit Kathy Hilton has, my opinion on her has somewhat changed this season. I like this Kathy Hilton that we're seeing, but she's still so out of touch with reality. I mean, and it is because of the amount of money she has. And I don't feel like I think Jennifer Tilley is a very eccentric person, but I don't think she's so out of touch with reality like Kathy Hilton is.
No, definitely not. So we shall see with Kyle and Mo and yada, yada, yada.
Yes, we shall.
Real quick, I will be interested to see if this comes up at the reunion, if Kathy's there. What Kyle said about her mother, that she was very proud of the fact that she was married for so long to the same man because she did not have that role model in her life growing up with her mother. Now, Kathy is so defensive about their mother. So I'm curious to see if Kathy has an opinion about that.
Yeah, if she gets charged up about that.
I would imagine
And she did not put her mother in a favorable light at all.
No, but I don't think her mother was a positive influence.
I don't think so
Like,
either.
I don't think she did set an example. I think she pushed those girls into show business, and she pushed those girls to marry rich to make a more comfortable life for herself.
Mm-hmm.
And them, but for herself. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Andy would be someone to bring up a question like that.
I hope so. I hope
Just to
so.
stir the pot. I'd
because
rather he not, because there's no reason to stir that pot.
he tiptoes around Kathy. He tiptoes around Kyle like he does Teresa. He tiptoes around certain housewives.
Yeah.
So we'll see, though.
We definitely will see. Let's just mention real quick, because we haven't talked about it yet. Karen was sentenced to 2 years for her DUI. 1 year is suspended, her sentence. And she went right. She's already there. She's already in county jail.
There.
She's going to be.
Crazy.
So somebody said, and I don't know, you might know, Kelly, although it's a year, right? Because a year is suspended, that she'll probably only actually do 6 months. It's like day for good behavior.
That's horrible. I'm sorry.
I don't
There's
know
a
if
lot
she's
of
going to get
people-
that, though. I think
We'll
that the
see.
good behavior plays a role. Time served always does, but she didn't have any time served.
Right.
She wasn't even on house arrest, like nothing. There's
know.
nothing to contribute to that. And honestly, I cannot see a judge giving her anything for good behavior at this point because
But
of
I don't-
what
does
led
that go-
up to this sentencing.
Is it the judge that does that, or is it the parole people?
I mean, I think
don't
the
think
judge
it's-
would have a say in it.
I don't know, because Jen Shaw, her sentence keeps getting reduced every 6 months.
Yeah. Maybe, I guess it's the people in the jail. I don't know. I'll have to ask.
Yeah, we should look into that just to see. I'm just curious, I'm curious how it works. I don't
Let's
know.
hope she's a little bit humbled and does exhibit good behavior now.
Well,
Let's
yeah.
hope she gets the help that she needs. Because
I don't think
she
6
needs
months
some.
is going to do enough for her.
No.
I think she needs to stay a year. I don't think she should be given any grace. I don't think she should be given
Any special treatment? No.
any shortcuts.
No, I don't think so either. I'm
Do
just
your
curious.
time. Because
Yeah.
especially since it was a 2 year and now it's 1.
1 year, right? 1 year.
And I don't know what they're saying. What does that mean? 1 year suspended.
It means once she gets out, she's got probation. So a suspended sentence means that if she violates her probation, then she goes back and does that other year. So it's suspended upon the completion of the probation period, because I think she's got either 3 or 5 years. She's got an extended probation at the end. So you have to complete all that for it to not go into effect. But if you violate it with one thing, then you go back and you have to put
You
the other
serve that
year in.
year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll see.
So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I did see that, Ashley and Giselle, even Wendy, they, put out statements that they were praying for her. Even though they think what she did is horrible, she's still someone that they knew. And,
Yeah, and
she's still a human being. And you know what?
Nobody wants to see anybody go through that.
No. And prayers
That's-
are good for all of us. We
for
could all use
sure.
prayers. I'll take any prayers you guys want to send my way. I'll take
Me
them.
too. Me too.
Absolutely.
I did like that they were taking the high road, though,
Yeah, of course.
So I think that's it, unless you guys can think of anything else.
Nothing.
Nothing
Big
else.
fat nothing.
All right.
Good.
Well, until next time, thank you for watching and listening.
Bye.
Bye.